Welcome on in today. So, today we have a question from Jorge who is asking, looks like he's transitioning from residential cleaning into a more commercial setting. He's asking about ways to get accounts. So, getting accounts is definitely going to be different on the commercial side than it is on the residential side. You're going to have different areas that you go to for for making leads, for creating leads, for finding leads. So the first thing we want to do is we want to understand that every day, regardless of where you are in business, every day you want to be marketing of some kind. You need to be marketing of some kind. This doesn't stop because the second you stop marketing, your company is dying. So market every day. In the event that you're starting, you absolutely have to do it no matter what. You have to just every day market and then just continue doing it. Now, in the beginning, it's going to be you doing it. As you grow, as you go on, you're going to be hiring people that's going to help you in some or all of these forms. But to begin with, it's you. Every day, you must do something. So, what do we have to do? We're going to have to get lead sources. You're going to have to get places that you get leads from. And that's going to look different depending on what you want, but you should have multiple sources. I'm a firm believer in at least 3 to 7. I say on the higher end of that is always a better call. So what may that look like? That may look like referrals, that may look like cold emailing, that may look like cold calling, appointment setters, door knockings, ads, pay per leads, or anything else that puts business in front of you or into your pipeline and you in front of them. So that could even be something like networking. So let's break that down and really look at these one at a time. What are they? So, to begin with, referrals, we all know what referrals are. It's somebody that's familiar with you, familiar with your business, be it an acquaintance, be it a friend, be it a customer or a former customer, competitor. It can be all kinds of things. And they refer you to somebody. These, in most cases, especially if it's a customer referring you to somebody else, these have a higher sales close rate just because your customer has done the closing for you. They've done the sale for you. They say, hey, I like this person. They're doing good. You should check them out. So referrals are always a great thing, but they're never completely consistent. So that should only be one of your many lead sources. Now, other lead sources that we're wanting to look at. Let's talk about where are we at? Cold emails. Cold emails is another prime example. So cold emails um, are emails, obviously, that you're sending out to prospects who don't know you. You're trying to introduce yourself. It's a cold setting. So what are some of those types of sources? So let's talk about when you're doing a cold email campaign, you're going to want to start out with a cold email platform. So it's usually easiest to start out with a cold email platform. Now you don't have to. You can literally send from your inbox. The biggest thing is it's usually best to start from for using some sort of software that you divide up and you don't use your specific email address. And that's way too time consuming to go into all the details of why you don't want to do that in this video. We could probably make another video that's a lot more in depth with just cold emailing, but just to start the basics. You can email from your inbox, but it's easier to procure a list and then use a software to help you email on a regular basis and consistently. So there's several email softwares that you can look at. Instantly is probably the best for the cost involved in it. There it's around $80 a month, and you're going to have an unlimited amount of email accounts that you can attach to it. So if you're going to do huge volume, which you need to do volume when it comes to anything cold, you need to do volume because your stick rate is going to be pretty low. You may get a response rate in an email that's maybe 5%, 10%. So you're not getting a very good amount. So you gotta get more volume to get the amounts you need. So with that, Instantly is a great platform if you want to use that. Now let's say I don't have $80 a month. I don't want to spend that. Well, you've got a couple other options. You got Lemlist, also a great option. It's about $60 a month. Um, if you're wanting to look at more cost effective, you could look at something like GMass or Woodpecker. They're somewhere around $30 a month. And then, of course, I use ClickReach, and the only reason I do that is I have a lifetime subscription. So I paid one fee one time, and I'm good to go. Now, as far as features wise, um, any of these platforms that I just showed you will do what you need to do if you're interested in doing a cold email campaign. Now, we're not going to get into the ins and outs of what a cold email campaign looks like. I just wanted to show you a few of the pieces of software that you can use in order to incorporate cold emailing. Now, the next thing is like, what about you want to use a lead a pay per lead program. So there's a handful of pay per lead programs out there. You're probably familiar with Thumbtack because you're already in the residential side. There's Bark. Both of those are okay. The thing with those is they're more residential setting. Bark I've personally found their leads to be flaky at best. Um, Thumbtack would never, when I went to try them out as a lead source, they would never even commit to what I was going to get. They just wanted me to commit to $300 to $500 per week. And that's hard for me to say, okay, let me commit to $300 a week, and you can literally commit to doing nothing for me. So in that particular thing, that was not a fit for myself. What has worked for me is Scale My Cleaning Business leads. These are exclusive leads. So you get it, you purchase it, it's your lead. Also Clean Work. So Get Clean Work is another good example of exclusive leads. These are lead comes in, appointment is set, you pay for it, it's your exclusive lead. Nobody else is going to get that. So those are two great options. Now, on that same that same idea, you can use options, like an appointment setter. So an appointment setter is going to use things like cold calling, things like cold emailing to get in front of people and then schedule you appointments. There's plenty of companies that are doing that right now. For us in the industry, the biggest thing is when you're vetting these people, make sure that you're not sharing leads and you're not getting crappy leads, because that will burn your budget up in a heartbeat if you're getting just junk leads. Let's see, what else have we not talked about? Cold calling. Obviously, cold calling is just like cold emailing. You're going to have to do it on volume. It's somebody that you don't know that you're trying to introduce yourself to. As far as effectiveness, you're going to be fairly effective with cold calling or door knocking. It's just a volume game. If you do enough numbers, you'll get enough results. Advertising, that's something you'll want to work into, working with Google ads or anything like that. Unless you're really good at ads right now, you probably want to get some income coming in from what you have going before you dump it into something like that. Now that goes with everything. You can put money in up front, or you can put sweat equity in up front, but you're going to have to do something in order to get the ball rolling and keep the ball rolling. Um, And of course, anything else that you can think of that puts puts businesses into your pipeline for you to service them or offer services to them either now or later. So any other thing that I haven't touched on, you can also look at. If you're friends with somebody, if you want to join networks, there's all kinds of ways to get in so to you can talk and get in front of people. But that's only the first step of this transition or this starting of this cleaning thing, right? So your next step is you're in front of these customers. Now you have to understand why they want you, why they're looking for you, right? They're going to talk about issues that's going on, pain that they were experiencing, things that are bothering them, and you have to sit here and say, okay, I need to take what they're saying, because a customer at every step of the way is going to tell you what they're going to buy. You just have to listen and then adjust your pitch. So you are talking to what they're buying. Once you're talking to what they're buying, it makes it a lot smoother of a sales process. So you're listening, you're asking questions, you're pressing on their pain, you're showing how you solve their pain, and then you're asking if they want your help in solving it. So that's basically in a nutshell how we go about doing it. Now, the side note is you don't want to add more than two, probably more than one, but at least do not add more than two lead sources at a time, because you want to be able to track what's working. I'm not saying cut one off. If you're like, hey, I'm chasing this down and I've got lead sources coming in and these are $100 and these are $200, I'm cutting off the $200 one. No, you should dump money into both of them, because as long as they're producing an end result of leads and then closed leads, so you're actually getting business from them, then they're worth pursuing. As long as you're not losing money on it, and which is why you want to track them. If this one's costing me $200 and I'm closing 50% of them, and this one's costing me $100 and I'm only closing 25% of them, the actual end result of customer acquisition is the same price. So the thing is, you just don't cut out the more expensive. You watch and then you feed which one's better. So in the scenario we just said, they're both pretty much the same. Your customer acquisition cost is the same. So then which one's producing better quality leads? You're going to fuel more money. You're going to feed more money into it to build that up. You're not going to cut out the other one completely. And last, especially now, the sales cycle is longer. It's longer. It's definitely longer in commercial than it is in residential. So give it time. What you're doing today may not give you anything for 3 or 4 months. Do it anyways. Have the faith, keep pushing it along. You'll get there. I'm working on a bid right now as I'm shooting this that I know is not going to close until April of next year. But if it closes, it's going to be $15,000 a month billing. So it's just a matter of, I'm doing it now. I have to stay in touch with the customer over the next few months. And then at the end of that, I'm going to hopefully have a new account that's billing in excess of 5 figures. So what you do today matters in 6 months from now. So start now, start going. Don't cut out your residential. Keep pushing your residential. Keep doing that, but push your commercial too. And in 6 months from now, you're going to have a hand, $5, $6, $7,000 probably monthly billing, and then you can keep pushing. And the bigger that number gets, the easier it goes to push it. As long as you don't stop with the marketing, as long as you continue every day to do that, it's easier and easier to push, and you get faster and faster results. So keep up. If you got any questions, definitely message me. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe or share this with somebody that you know that will enjoy it just as much as you did. All right. Any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be more than happy to help you out.